Yeah, so I'm just doing this one as a um, finale for my current season. Try to do one after, sounds like after each season, but I usually do one for sure after a winning season or championship season. So I finally got one to do with Auburn for the championship season. So hey, shout us out. Yeah, so cool thing about this one, um, sorry. Yeah, all right. I don't know the depth chart team is really like 94. I think there was somebody around, um, so the rating went down. But let's see. Um, Before these guys get out of here officially and kind of get into their own world, offensively had the number one offense. Of course, the guy I played against, he had the number two offense. So shout out to him too, I guess. Number one offense, number one passing yards. Shout out Dylan Sims. We'll see him in a bit. Shout out Dylan Sims. He's going to be leaving, moving on to greener pastures finally. So, and he came back this year. I mean, that's a difference. That was a difference. That made all the difference for my team. The fact that he decided to come back, this was going to be, and that this was going to be what he was going to do. So, shout out him. Passing yards, 9,381, and those by quite a bit. I led passing yards. Rushing yards was second behind Texas. So overall, pretty good. Number one pass, number two rush, number one points per game, putting up points. Number one pass touchdown, I think number one rush touchdowns as well. More rush touchdowns in Michigan is an accomplishment. You know who plays Michigan. He's a half star less, huh? Interesting. I didn't know that. First downs. First downs. From South Carolina as well. Kind of surprising. But my offense was top tier. Again, they showed out this year. I was a little nervous at first starting off the year. Especially, I lost a lot of my linemen. But they pulled it together, man. They really did. Defense was terrible. I'm gonna say that just because I think all of our defense tends to be terrible for the majority of the year. Because a lot of these guys, a lot of the other people, they don't play as many minutes like that. Really, the game doesn't play as much. So that's a dude who held it down, though. It's really good, actually. That passing yard total was really good. So, our defense is probably at the top because a lot of times we'll score a lot passing. Like, people will pass against me, giving them 5,000 passing yards because there's nothing else for them to do. Because they'll be down, so they have to pass a lot. And then they'll eventually get some kind of crappy playoff, and that'll ruin it. So, but yeah, 5,957 passing yards, the most in the league, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Rush yards allowed. First rush yards allowed, less than 100 yards in the season. So shout out to them. And I had a couple tough games at the end there for sure with some runners. That probably made it look like that pushed me over 100. So definitely against what's his name? He probably the one who pushed me into positive playing against Texas. Points allowed. they're middle of the road in points allowed. So for like the top people took 378, 414. So yeah, about middle of the road in points allowed. Number one in sacks. I already knew that. It's a machine. Um, Pretty decent to force fumbles. Number one in interceptions, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 85, 58. Shout out to my corners as well, which they're all pretty much leaving. Majority of my corners are leaving, unfortunately. So, yeah, so shout out to my corners. My safeties, I don't want to forget my safeties. They were the lifeblood of my defense for real, if I'm being honest. Especially my run defense, which is why it was so good. I'm gonna say it's like, yeah, I'm gonna say the reason why my run defense was what it was because of my safeties. So they're both. I got run stoppers and. I got run stoppers and I have run support safeties, and a couple. For one, he's a hybrid, so he was a cornerback. He was a slot cornerback. I forgot if that's what he started off as. There's something that I noticed maybe after my first championship with Purdue is that what you'll typically get is the hybrid safety. So I have a hybrid safety on Purdue, which I'm still playing in that dynasty. We just reached the final year of this safety's career. He's a star dev, and I just knew he was going to be like a 90 something when he left. Probably by like year 3 of, and I was using him all the time. Like I used him during the games. Him and the safety. So he had played Saturday. He twice won Defensive Back of the Year. So he was really, really good. And he played like it should be rated, but he wasn't rated very well at all because as a hybrid safety, it's so many points for him to get anything. So I ended up moving this guy. He was I think if he might have came as a hybrid safety, but all I know now is that he's safety. Yeah. So he was a corner, moved to a corner, had him at cornerback. He played cornerback. He started at cornerback maybe 2 years ago when I was low on cornerbacks. And then last year, I think maybe last year, somebody else might have played. But then like this year, I was like, okay, I'm going to move him to safety. He could play safety, hybrid cornerback. The slot cornerback, and he had good tackling. He had great tackling and hit power and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'll just make him safety. And I think he maxed out on his pass coverage, his man coverage. And yeah, man, he was out there balling out, man. He's out there balling out. Third down conversions, third down percentage, decent. Still in the top 10, behind pretty much all the main people. And this guy didn't even play anymore, so that's pretty daggone good. He's the first AI player in Georgia and Nebraska down there. But 50%, around 50%. So we're kind of hovering around. Fourth down conversions, 66% is pretty decent. First down attempts, still low, so we typically tend to go for it, so that's going to happen. And I didn't do any 2-point conversions this year, so yeah, I didn't do any of that. Red zone efficiency, I know I suck at red zone efficiency. I was probably at the bottom. Field goals, 2 field goals, 38%. 20-29 offensive red zone trips, which some of these I do not feel like I was in red zone 29 times and somehow managed only 8-9 touchdowns and 2 field goals. I feel that just doesn't seem right in my mind. I feel like something. I feel like sometimes I'll add additional ones on there. Maybe if you were like in a certain position, and so that's weird. Red zone trips, defensive trips. I think I was middle of the road for that one. Let's see, middle of the road for that one. 46 defensive percentage. I think I'm number one though. Fuck with your boy, okay? Fuck with your boy, and I kept that up. And I think now, that kind of makes a difference in the game. Like even people don't really get there, so not really letting people get there that much. 91's at the top. You got people you're like most of the other guys. There's nothing wrong with them, but quite a bit more than in the 40s. You know what I'm saying? So only allow 12 touchdowns. I think at some point this year I had less than that. Actually, I think I had the number one defensive touchdowns allowed. But then I kind of went to I had to play against Georgia Tech, and I had to play against a couple other teams, and they got some stuff off of me. So mine was probably, I think at one point I checked this year, I was lower than 26. It was lower than that. So it was pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. Penalties, penalties are penalties. What can you do? We don't really get penalized a lot, so shout out to them for that. Turnover differentials, number one, turnover differentials. Number one in giveaways, I'm sure. Oh, number two in giveaways. I'm not number one in giveaways. 40 interceptions, 30 fumble balls. Yeah. And them fumble balls hurt too, because, I don't fumble often, and somehow that's a different story for a different time. Takeaways, 93. That's where it matters. That's the bread and butter for my squad. Takeaways, 93 takeaways. So you make your money at. So overall, nationally, my team did really well. Team stats, coach stats. My job security is up there now. 12, I can winning 7 winning seasons. Playoff record 9-6. National championships. I did it. I finally got one. I'm on the board, dog. 5 conference championships. Started off a little rocky, but I've been conference champion 5 years in a row. So I'm out there. First rounders. I'm pretty sure I got the most first rounders as well. It's just additional stuff. And they haven't added 26 first rounders. I think he's the next one. He's 15, 13, 10. And then they're not even adding the next crop of guys that's going in. They're about to go in who are, I guess we could take a look at the players leaving as well after this. So, 56 draft picks, not the most, but a good amount. Second. And so he started off with Georgia, so Georgia's stacked. That took me like 3 years to get some draft picks. So, top 5 recruiting class every single year. So 6 top 5 recruiting classes, 7's going to be after this year as well. So, record. So here's what I'll go to players leaving, and then we'll see the players leaving. So for my team, players leaving. Dylan Sims. Shout out to Dylan Sims. Like I said earlier, and I'll go over look at his stats here in a little bit. First rounder. He was projected to go first round last year as well. He had an extremely low persuasion chance, and he actually decided to stay. So I think that made the biggest difference. That made a huge difference for my team because I got to keep my field general. I got to keep my leader. I finally got to max out somebody's potential at my quarterback position. I've been wanting to do that for like 3 other quarterbacks, and I just wasn't able to. So Dylan Sims staying this extra year, huge. Manny Davis, a surprise. Yeah, it was a surprise. He was like an 84, 85 last year. And this he's like 85, maybe 86. And this year, like after the progression, he maxed out his elusiveness as a elusive back. Um, Went absolutely bonkers. Been absolutely bonkers. He didn't have anything. He might have had recoup bronze. I don't know if he have any other abilities. Maybe 360 bronze. But he didn't have any of those other abilities. So this year I've been hustling, running like crazy, getting this dude been getting off, and silvered out, his abilities. It'd have been really nice because I'm pretty sure, aside from takeoff and shifty, or takeoff and recoup, he had not platinum abilities on all these. If I was able to max them out, so that would be really dope. Demetrius Berryman, shout out to that. Shout out to him as well. He's also leaving. He's my star wide receiver who I've had here for 3 years, obviously. But he started at one position or the other every year, and so it's going to be a tough replacement. Now, so he's been a 99. Yeah, he's a 99. So it's going to be tough to replace Demetrius Berryman. Souls, I've had him for a while as well. He started ever since he could. And sort of, right? He's kind of been a tweener, just a pass rush mainly guy for like his first year or two. Yeah, his first 2 years, really. He ended up on like the Heisman list because he's really good at when I actually get in the pass rush formations. He's a monster. But I just didn't really get many chances aside from those the first couple years to get him going. And this year, I just outright started on my other pass rusher left. I have him. He's the guy, and he stepped up. So shout out to him as well. Did he win the Heisman? I think he won the Heisman this year. Yeah, so he's always been on the Heisman list, and I think he actually won the Heisman this year. Floyd Brockell, shout out to him. He was actually a bust when I recruited him as well. But he's a freaking 99 now, so that worked out pretty well. Senior red shirt though, so 99. Jeff Stepanovich, he's been here for a long time. He started for a bit of him as well, maybe like 2 years now. So shout out to him. Power, 99 overall, dude. He's holding down the middle. That's what I was saying. These guys earlier, I was talking about these run support dudes, really were the lifeblood of my defense in the playoffs, like late in the seasons, because I really happened to go against like probably the 3-4 toughest rushing teams on this game with Georgia, with Georgia Tech, Michigan, and Texas, and they are monsters. I mean, Georgia Tech, weirdly enough, would have been a really good rushing team, but like when the person left, he left them and then they went to a spread offense. So that was weird. But their line was a freaking beast to go against. So even just holding these guys, it was just, these guys, shout out to them. Stepanovich was a key to my run game. You know what I'm saying? He's a power dude. He was opening up holes. He's that guy, man. I'm not gonna lie. Clay Kuhn is also leaving. Sophomore red shirt. Didn't even get to keep him. He started 1 year, and he is leaving now. So, started 1 year. But he's also, I was thinking about trying to find different ways to kind of keep him around. And I just kind of let it go. The last couple games that were played, he pretty much saved my season. He made 3-4 big plays in the playoffs, and he made 3-4 big plays in the playoffs, and pretty much I think he forced a fumble against somebody, against Bates. I think he forced a fumble. He got a pick six in that game. He had 2 interceptions in that game with a pick six, and he got a pick six in the championship game as well. Ended up winning by 6 points. So, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about having somebody who made that play to to win you that game. You know what I'm saying? He did that. Emmett Arnfelt, he's been here for a long time as well. He's kind of been pretty much just a pass rush specialist for the majority of the time, even going mostly into this year. He was a pass rush specialist. He still get sacks. Still, like, and it's weird is like, even Souls, I know he's a baller, but like Arnfelt, big game, like crazy. My would go crazy. Like, every time I played against somebody, he would just go nuts. And I think I started him at the end of the year. I started him at the end of the year because getting all these runners, and he has really good run stopping as well. I mean, block shedding as well. So, I mean, even when I know he's still a pass rusher, but even then, and he had grit breaker, he could get off these blocks. He could get into the backfield. He could shed. He could get on people. So Emmett Arnfelt, huge. Another senior, another person that is leaving. As part of that, top tier running defense. Malcolm Nickey, unfortunately, leaving. He was my starting corner, a slot corner, house call, blank coverage jammer, wrap up. So he could tackle really well as well because he needs slot corner. Shout out to these slot corners just general great tacklers. It was huge. You know what I'm saying? He was huge for me most of the season. Boast, like I said, I got Brock L up top. I got Boast out right here. Another run support safety. I think he's just a star. I didn't remember getting him. I really wasn't. I don't know what I felt about him, honestly. But he developed really well these last couple years. Starting him out there, and then especially in the defensive scheme, with him having his abilities, a lot of his abilities, and he probably had platinum hammer now, gold or platinum hammer now. I think he just finished maxing out we're getting close to maxing out his run stopping. So, he balled out. He definitely balled out as well. So, Rafael Boost, he was huge. Huge getting into the backfield with how my defense played. So, he was big on that. Laurent Seawright, another dude. And Laurent Seawright, defense, he should have been better. He could have been better. I did not use him. I used him in a lot of computer games. Did not really ever use him in user games because he would get torched. There's way too many fast people, way too much speed out there. But in computer games where sometimes I'd be moving people around or something and I forget maybe he'd be in, I'd be like, oh, who out here playing this defense? And he might get 2 picks a game, something like that. So he was always and still is a baller. 95 overall, you can freaking tell. He came in as well as a bust the same year that Brock L did. I really thought they were going to be bad, and they ended up both being really good. But he just did not. Brock L gained speed. Seawright did not. And if Seawright gained any speed, he'd have been that guy. He had 2 speed slots a game, so he'd have definitely been that guy. Corey Wentz, hybrid. I think I spoke about him earlier. So I was speaking about earlier. I moved him from corner, from corner to safety. He was a slot corner. And he just got the ability. He's a dog. I don't know what else to say about him. He's just that. He's just kind of like that. Like I said, he could cover, he could hit, he could do everything. You know what I'm saying? Catch, he could do all that stuff. So, but unluckily, I didn't get to wrap it. Not platinum out his abilities either, because I think he's definitely got platinum house call and hammer. But he still, when I needed him, he still showed up. He was always out there defending deep passes or whatever, bro. Tackling in the backfield. When I would swap him and Boost around, he was a beast. He was a monster. I think he ended up winning Defensive Back of the Year. So he was great. And then what's the name also? Stepanovic also won Interior Lineman of the Year. So I said I had a lot of winners this year. Heisman, best defensive player, best linebacker, Glenn Souls was, and Heisman, best defensive player, best linebacker. I think that's all. That's the 3 he won. think Manny Davis. I think he lost to some guy. He lost to another running back for Clemson. The running back from Clemson. This dude had like 3,000 receiving yards or something crazy, you know. I'm sure it was just some play that they got on here that that dude was running, that he was getting his running back wide open. But yeah, like he just couldn't get it. Even though I feel like he was definitely the best running back, most rushing touchdowns. I think he ended the season most yards, and we'll see about that too as well. So Dylan Sims, I think, won best quarterback. Pretty sure he did. So yeah, I think he did. He's got the trophy by him. Yeah, Manny Davis did not get that. Upsetting. And same thing, All-American, like, did not get that All-American over there. This other guy, not gonna lie, pretty upsetting. Demetrius Berryman, pretty sure Demetrius Berryman won best wide receiver. And he's a two-time best wide receiver winner as well as a Heisman winner last year. So last year he won the Heisman. This year he wins best wide receiver. Souls wins the Heisman. So shout out to Demetrius Berryman as well with that one. So moving on. The other guy won best linebacker. Clay Coon was on the list. But they had a lot of really good linebackers this year. I think Emmett Armfeld was also on the list. I think there was like top 5. There were 5. Had 5 guys on top linebacker on this linebackers list. So yeah, he won best cornerback. Wentz won best cornerback. So. Donahue was a impact dev. Well, he might be normal dev. He was not what I was expecting to be. He just kind of stuck around. Like, he gained enough stuff through the years, and he stuck around and ended up being my starting center this year, and a quality player. And overall, just a really, really good player, and somebody that I needed for sure. Because I'm sure he was a power guy, and he just had enough like stuff. He wasn't really missing anything, except for like some like parts of his like stuff that really wasn't as important was capped off. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then he ended up moving the pass protector center. He showed out. So George Nwaneri, been here for a long time. I don't think I even looked at him for years. It's like tight end, just kind of sat down there. He's backside was blocking last year, maybe. Another tight end last year. He might have been my starting tight end last year. I can't remember if it was him or somebody else. But George Nwaneri was, shout out to him again. 94 overall blocking tight end, and he get busy. You know, I don't think he wasn't originally a blocking tight end. He was a possession tight end, and then I think after the offseason last year or the year before, he just became a blocking tight end. So I was like, all right, cool. I guess you're a blocking tight end now. So when I was looking, I think I had him at fullback, and I switched him to tight end. He was at fullback for a couple of years because I needed some place to put him. And and he ended up coming by moving back to tight end, and he's blocking tight end. So he was blocking the crap out of people this year. And again, another key part of my rushing game that was the best. So Danny Kessman, he's staying. Shout out Danny Kessman. So that's good. Fowler staying. Bernie Griffin is leaving, and Bernie Griffin was huge as my second corner, just because, again, you need speed out here. Bernie Griffin was a little bit disappointing because he still had a speed slot, and I'm pretty sure he still has a speed slot available. And he was a 98 speed, so I was expecting him to grow faster. And I guess it's kind of worked out for the best because I needed someone to step into that position, to be that person, to make those plays this year. And he had the speed, he had the coverage ability to do so, especially man to man. So he was huge for me. Just somebody who could just make those big plays, especially in these user games. You kind of need one of them, especially a speed guy, because people have speedy people. Byron Lamore, power rusher, not really. He's a run stopper. Was a monster. He's kind of like he's kind of been like a tweener. Last year, I had another defensive end. So I think he started last year. Last year, if he started, and then He started, he was with another defensive end, Tanner. He was actually a power rusher. Um, but yeah, they were monsters in the midway. Tanner was a power rusher. He was a beast. Lamore is a freaking beast. He just eats, eats, eats at blocks, man. Like honestly, as I said, he's like him. Um, my outside linebacker, another defensive tackle down here in a bit, or defensive end down here in a bit. They were like the biggest reason my defense, like they would eat like these are all freaking. I was just messing around, but these are all platinum like run stopping ability. So, uh, Josh Lingenbach, you're staying. James Lingenbach is staying. Shout out to James. Antoine Riddick, he was actually, he's leaving. I tried to find another person. I had my first year, I had two athletic linemen, and they were amazing. One ended up being a defensive tackle. One ended up being my tight end. He was a baller. Star Dev. He was a Star Dev. He was a baller. And I was kind of looking for the person, like the next person. I was like, okay, these guys will probably get there. I'll look for the next person. And I found him like the next year. He ended up being Impact Dev. So it was kind of disappointing. But he's a lineman. He's a power lineman. He's a blocking tight end. Made him into a blocking tight end. He's getting out there pushing people down, man. And then I usually start him at my fullback position, so he'd be leading away, lighting people up. So shout out to him, Antoine Riddick. He's leaving. Stoudemire staying. He tried to leave. Can't believe it. And John Baggs, who should be better, man. Unfortunately, the game is how the game is. John Baggs, I stole it from Jerome. Snatched him right up. He was a 5-star defensive lineman, and he run stopper. And then when I got him, I was just a little bit disappointed because he was an impact dev. And I said, I worked hard to recruit him out of Michigan, from Michigan. So a little bit disappointing. Having to bag John Baggs and him not being as good as he probably could have been. Finally did it, man. Finally got over this hump, dog. Rose Bowl, SC Championship that year. So, what are you talking about? Before I signed, this was my first year. So 10-3 was my first year. 13-3 that next year. I thought I was gonna make it. Ended up winning, I think, Rose Bowl. I think it might have been against Bates, and then I lost. The next week, lost next week. Next year, I won the SEC championship game. I had to bye. I finally won the SEC champion at the SEC. We had to bye, then lost in the playoffs to the eventual winners, California. The next season, I disappointed. These two seasons, highly disappointed. Definitely should have won this year. It was an elite team. It was an elite team. I'm just honestly, I'm just going to say, I had talent at every position, and wide receivers were amazing. My quarterback was amazing. Shout out to him. And he ended up leaving after that year. And I got Dylan Sims. This is the year I drafted. I recruited Dylan Sims. This was his first year. Yeah, this was his first year. I played him for a couple of games, and I redshirted him. This was his first year. He started his first year. We went 15-1, made it back to the championship game. He balled out all year, and then I lost the championship game again. It was another disappointing year. But it was also one of the years that I really, it was also this year that I kind of realized a bit, oh man, Davis is actually really good. My running back is pretty good. I was splitting time between him and Gold. I didn't really know who to start or who to play. And Gold was good because Gold had elite dev. I was just like, well, he's an elite dev. Running back, I'll just play Gold. I won't talk about that in a bit, but He ended up in the playoffs, ended up starting Manny Davis. He was only like an 81 or something like that. And he was killing people. And I was like, man, this motherfucker getting busy. You know, I was running really well with him. So Manny Davis, huge that year. And I just, at the championship game, I just messed up. I made too many mistakes. Same thing next year, man. S 12-2. I ended up winning the SEC again. I lost my first game, won the SEC, and then lost in the playoffs. Another bad game, man. I just made too many mistakes. And then this year, finally, big win, big team win. So finally, they said, finally the champ. Finally the one that gets to wear the crown. You know what I'm saying? Depth chart here. Dylan Sims, like I said, Dylan Sims, junior redshirt. He decided to come back last year. He was 99 last year as well. Sophomore redshirt 99. I just knew he was going to leave. I need to find another quarterback to replace him, and he actually surprised me and stayed. So I was a little disappointed. I was like, at first I was kind of a little disappointed, but then yeah, he was huge for me. He played really well. I think I figured out a couple more things as well about quarterbacking and then about the field general. And he got 91 speed. He decided to max out his elusiveness and his speed. Just like every season, he decided to up himself. So it was like having a scrambler anyway. So I have some scramblers here. It was like having a scrambler anyway. He has more agility. He's got better change. Like he could do all the stuff. So. And he was field general. He had dot, step up, sleight of hand. Yeah, I mean, more people have sleight of hand. But, having these abilities is crazy. So, Dylan Sims, that's my guy. Manny Davis as well. You see here, Manny Davis, the starting running back for me. Stephen Gold, the backup running back. Stephon Gold, the backup running back. And honestly, he probably could do whatever the heck he wanted to do. I could have started him as well. The biggest difference this year is that for some reason, both of my running backs decided to max out their elusiveness. I do not know why. I don't understand where they even got that from. I don't remember having a back last year that could garner this kind of like make somebody do this. So they just wanted to get better, which is crazy. So these two guys held my, were the leads on my team. I have another wide receiver back. He was a wide receiver. Had him at back for a bit, and I just moved back to wide receiver just because it's just better wide receiver and a playmaker. And I actually worked out. They got me some pretty big plays, like even in the later games of the season, which was, let's see. Yeah, these other guys were just there. Cobb was not my starting. He was not my starting. I don't know why they starting there. It's actually Riddick. Riddick is my starting. Was my starting fullback. Like I said, big, fast enough, and he's a bully. So when I get out there, I get past the line. If we get past the line of scrimmage, he hits somebody, and they usually work out. So, or he's just blocking somebody, and it work out. Wide receiver, like I said, Behrman was my number one guy. Held it down the majority of the year. Nate Saubert, again, this was the wide receiver that used to be my starting running back last year. I changed him to he was wide receiver, moved him to running back, my starting running back, then I moved back to wide receiver. I don't know what made me do that, but I did. And I was in practice, and I was like, actually, I was throwing at him a lot in practice, and I was like, actually, I didn't like him at wide receiver, but I actually like him at wide receiver now. And so it's been pleasantly surprising how, nice it's been. Matthew Elens, it's interesting. He's one of my better wide receivers. But he just doesn't have that oomph to him yet. 6'6", 210 pounds, and I was hoping he'd be a monster, but he's kind of hit or miss he's got some stuff that he just I would like if he just gets better at this, it would be amazing. He'd be like probably one of the best dudes in the game. But a couple more things for him. But I've used him sometimes. I use him more later on in the season, later on in the year. I was kind of taking him out a lot in random games, so he didn't have as much stuff. And using Fink most of the year, and Fink was my other starting wide receiver for most of the year until like the end of the year. And I think I changed it up a little bit, but Fink started most of the year. Shout out to Fink. So, good wide receiver. Shout out to Fink. Rango, he's just kind of been here, and so is Hugh Smith. And I don't really say much about those guys. That's a Nwaneri, wasn't Riddick. Austin Cobb. Nwaneri and Austin Cobb. And they're both really good freaking tight ends. They're just really good tight ends, honestly. Austin Cobb's not actually a blocking tight end. I accidentally messed up something here. And now I put a better blocking tight end. But Austin Cobb is a dog. Run routes, block. Nwaneri, I think I talked about Nwaneri earlier, and Antoine Riddick as well. They could all block really well, seal the edges for me really well. They were there. That was my jam. Najee Bean, shout out to Najee Bean as well. He was started off actually really low this year, so I was a little nervous. He's my starter. He's my starter, so he did his thing starting off this year. Nick Falla, and then I started Tim Dahl a couple games as well, just getting him that experience, and he's elite dev. I think they're both elite devs. Both elite dev pass protector, and elite dev power. So left guard Nick Falla, agile lineman. We decided to say this year, shout out to him. DJ Brutus is a athlete. I have no idea what kind of athlete he is, if I'm being honest. I don't remember if he was a defensive lineman athlete. I remember if he was a offensive lineman athlete. I just know he's an athlete, and he just kind of does stuff. Looking for a big year from him, hopefully. He's elite dev. He's a 3-star too, elite dev guy. He is kind of a monster. We'll see, right? Ty Donahue, again, I talked about Ty Donahue already, starting center. Stepanovic starting right guard, right tackle. Devin Gammon, freshman, redshirt, elite dev, pass protector. Being backed up by Tim Dahl, who I just occasionally started that position, and the left guard position. And then Raheem Juzma, who was one of my freshman right tackle. So he's a 5-star too. A 5-star and pretty disappointing because he's normal dev. So I have another right tackle as well. Kind of fits into that same category. So pretty disappointing for some of these guys. Lincoln Bach was mostly my starting left end this year. He started the majority of the year until the end of the season, where I put Lemur in at left end. He started mostly left end this year. Right end was not Bags. Bags actually started at defensive tackle, and at the end of the year because of his run stopping abilities. But that right end position was held down mostly by. I ain't going to be behind. That right end position was held down mostly by. I go all the way to the bottom to find these people who actually play these positions. Arjlu. So, Arjlu actually is the one who held down his position for most of the year. Him and Lincoln Bach and Lemur kind of like rotated in. Like Lincoln Bach was mostly the starter. Arjlu would start, and then as well as Lemur would start, and Kessman would also start. So Kessman starts at defensive tackle, Lemur would start at defensive end, and then what's the name would get the other position. Him and Armfelt. Shout out him and Armfelt. Let me out of here. Move him all the way down. Like not even in the picture. You know, like away from it all. James Lincolnbach. Man, I don't know. Fink was my starter this year, and they're actually coming back. So shout out Fink. Now I guess I'll have another. I have a good linebacker next year. I mean, he probably won't get any better. He's 94 already. I don't think he gets. There's some in the stats that are available for him are going to make him much better than he is. So I guess we'll see. But he's a run stopper. He does his thing out there. He holds it down the left end position. And then, like I said, end of the year, him and Armfelt to put all my best run stoppers on the field. Him and Armfelt, Fink, Lemur, and Bags kind of were like the front of that defense, including, of course, Clay Kuhn, my middle linebacker. Also, Durr was my like alternate in 3-4. They'd come out together. And then, of course, the pass coverage situations, they would also go out and play together. Sowells, again, starting all year. He's the one my mostly starter for a year. So, I don't plan on using you. So let me just move you down here. I don't plan on using you. I'm pretty content with. I'm pretty content with not ever using him. Fortunately, not a bad player, but I just don't care, and I'll probably get rid of him. Malcolm Nickey again. I showed him Bernie Griffin. So Malcolm Nickey and Bernie Griffin, as I stated, because you need that speed. You just do see right being an 89 speed, 89 acceleration is kind of a slap in the face sometimes. 97 speed, Stoudemire, so he gets that other spot as well. And Trahan, 95 speed, 90 acceleration, and he's next year. Next up, Stoudemire and Trahan. Next year. So free safety again, Floyd Brackel held it down. That's my guy. I got these two younger dudes as well that might next year, depending on how long it just, man, it'd be nice if they would both get a good amount of growth. But obviously with 5 defensive backs leaving, you'd think they'd get some experience. But it's my first year with a good defensive backfield. It's like my very first year that I had a really good defensive backfield. So like all the way through. So it takes forever to get cornerbacks up. They usually have like one good cornerback. Like one cornerback is a 90. And the other one might be like 87s, 86s. So my first year with a good cornerback, a good corner core, strong safety boost. My guy, again, like I said, starting at strong safety and then Wentz as a backup. And that's just for how the defense is kind of ran. It puts Boost in the position to defend the run more and Wentz to defend the pass more. Even though they both can do both, you kind of acceleration play recommend just like Wentz being the better pass defender. This dude's a monster. 89 strength, 93 change of direction, 98 play recognition, boosted, but 85 tackling, 95 hit power. You know what I'm saying? 89 pursuit. He had 61 block shedding. So that's why he was always in there. But the other guy has 87 block shedding. He's a safety. And then same thing with, what's his name? Like 99 hit power, 99 pursuit, 74 block shedding. Like they did ridiculous things. So, and that's who I started was most of the time. Kick return, power return, kick goes to especially third down running backs. Gold up for gold here. Manny Davis, usually my third down running back. So, and Saubert when he was my running back as well, my third down running back, and slot wide receiver, which he is now. So, slot wide receiver and third down running back. So he would kind of alternate depending on personnel on the field. So he played a lot of minutes. He played a lot this year. It's like a mix of stats this year because of that. So. And then we'll go looking at season stats. Season stats I have. I don't know why I'm doing this. I said Dylan Sims, 9,000 yards. A lot of attempts, 62% completion. It was okay. 123 touchdowns, 40 interceptions. Let's see, look at your thing real quick. Like I said, he maxed out. There's potential here, right? Max has potential. Best he could become. He had some caps too, and he broke them. Which is, again, nuts. Had caps, broke the caps. said F the caps, broke the caps. Um, so accuracy, he had like one or two, he had like 2 caps on accuracy, not power. Maybe on IQ, he had a cap as well. He didn't have any elusiveness, health, but like just those ones, I was just like, oh man, he's not gonna be able to get that good, and then he just kept getting better. So like, yeah, I do really rarely ever see cap breaks, but he got 3 of them. So yeah. So going on him, like I said, Dylan Simmons being the guy, he's the number one passer in the history for the colleges. So like I said, it's his best year. You know, last year Willie wasn't that great, which is weird. Like 446, didn't really play that well last year. His best year completion wise, less attempts than that year, but that year 127 touchdowns, 50 interceptions. 127 touchdowns. You know, and there's like where that difference is as well. The yards, a lot more yards. That year I had Behrman and Wilkes, my other wide receiver, and they were going bananas. But 60% completion percentage, similar to that year. His record-breaking year, as you can see, 12,000 yards. He got sacked less this year, you know, probably because of my running was more balanced than last year. I kind of had started this playbook, and this year, you know, ran it better than I did last year. Passing touchdowns, 123 as well. So, getting a lot of passes. Rushing, always in the negative, because I don't run. I should run more because he's got, again, 91 speed. I get sacked. That's kind of like where my rushing stats are. A lot of games, a lot of downs played. Where's the other thing at? There's one more. Yeah. So, and it's crazy. I mean, listen to him. He's got like, I was looking at stats one time. He's got his traits, balance. He's paranoid. I hated that. Decision maker's aggressive though. Aggressive, tight spiral. Yes. Predictive player. Yes. So that's some pretty decent traits as well. Interesting guy. Spontaneous. Davis. There you are. That's my guy, Manny Davis. I already jumped into Manny Davis. I didn't even look at the stats. So, 2,627 yards, 42 touchdowns. He has two fumbles. We're gonna look at that, and I'm pretty sure he had never fumbled ever in his career. And Michigan, Jerome Bates Jr. forced 2 fumbles on him in that one game. 0 fumbles in his career, I'm pretty sure. 2,627 yards. They both average around the same average yards per carry. They got out. They get out. They start making people miss, and that's it. They did 32 plus 16. Like it was a problem. Honestly, I mean, just because I could do one and then get another, and then switch over power run. You want to do that one? Then do switch to do this. And I can do that one. Saubert, like I said, was also in there. 179 yards, 5.6. I didn't use him nearly as much as I had the other 2. And he wasn't nearly as effective as a runner as he is a catcher. So, of course, yardage line. So, yeah, that is change so. And I think it's like tops in the league in touchdowns for running backs. Behrman, a lot of yards, 70 touchdowns. 4,000 yards is typically about right. 9 drops. Actually, let me go back. Let's go look at Manny Davis real quick. Let's all talk about Manny Davis. And like I said, he's elite there. Oh, Stephon Gold. Okay, wait a minute. And sometimes the game does that. Gives you people that you didn't ask to give. But yeah, he's a star dev, 4-star, elusive back. And I have a couple of these elusive backs that are star dev. It's my first. I think he was my first elusive back that actually could max out his elusive. So that was big. and him actually having the ability to and actually doing it, bravo. You know what I'm saying? Uh, awesome. So they're maxing out his looseness, hands, getting better carrying, whatever. But his carrying wasn't really high. Just held the ball really well for most of it. IQ, awareness, ball carrier vision, being two kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And then that ball carrier vision was huge. Him getting more ball carrier vision, he felt like he got better as the year went on because he got ball carrier vision. Probably makes sense. The speed and quickness got always been the same. I don't think he get any better. Like I said, we're talking about Manny Davis. That first year, Manny Davis had, again, he averaged yards pretty well, 7.3, same close to he did the first year. Not nearly as many touchdowns or anything like that. More broken tackles, though. He fumbled once his first year. Okay. He got one fumble his first year. He had none last year, and he had none this year going into. I think that fumble was actually me because I was doing something and I accidentally pitched it. I have a knack for doing that. Not really him fumbling, but I fumbled because I was doing something and I forgot what button I was pressing, so I made a fumble. But big jump at the end of the year. This year, much different year. Broken tackles, swinging broken tackles. He didn't have to break as many tackles this year. Receiving wise, more active, I guess, the first couple of years. So, and I didn't really play him last year. I mean, probably I didn't really play him as much last year. I got Salbert in there, and I was running him most of the time. So, yeah. So, just how many downs played as opposed to what he was before. There we go. 100 yards here, 121. 100 yards every game except for Iowa State got passed a lot that game. For a while, I was like, when he was on the field, he was getting busy. And there were games where I would go crazy, and then I kind of went away from it for a little bit, and then I was like, I need to lock back in and prioritize my running game because he's a key part of what I do. And, show improve, man, show improve. And he kept doing that every time. When I put the ball in his hand, he kept making plays. So, and one of these games, maybe Ole Miss, he should have had like 400 yards that game. And the game cut out on me. So he had a crazy year. And even against users, he still showed up 173, 150, and he just felt like it kept getting worse. 173, 150, 121, and 100. But either way, those were really important games. He made those plays. So big shout outs. Yeah. See the stats. That was just some stats. Same thing for Gold. I said, I think I showed it earlier. He's an elite dev. So next year, I'll have him next year, though. Yeah. Super elusive power back. Okay. Receiving, Berryman, most of my yards, most of my touchdowns. He's just a difference maker. Fink, huge as a second man. And he showed up huge this year. He was awesome. Could make big plays down the field. Cleveland, also same thing. Big guy, making plays down the field. Lens, I played him sometimes. And it's weird because it feels like randomly every time I have him in a game, he's slow, but then somehow I throw a pass, he catch it, break it out away from people. And I'll be like, is it Lens playing in the game? I'm like, when did he get in the game? So he just scored. I'd be like, when did I put him in? And I take him out and I put Fink in. But he'd score off these just like couple plays that he'd get into the game. He's probably better than I gave him credit for. I knew Neri, like I said, holding it down. Salbert, he's like better receiver than he is. What's called. And he got a lot of these yards at the end of the year and actually put him at wide receiver. So better receiver than he is a running back. He was running backs. And then, man, he's good. They really get much. I didn't really get much play. Trying to go. Yeah, he didn't really play at all. Salbert, And then he's coming back this year. I don't really know what's going to be his deal. So he's a star there, 5-star, deep threat wide receiver. He just didn't really develop because he was just capped out. He decided to be capped in everything important to be a wide receiver. So he never became what he should have became, unfortunately. So I just, I hadn't really used him as much. You kind of see receiving yards, 817 the first year just because I had him. 437 last year, 523 this year, but like 427 and 523 was product of him being a running back actually instead of a wide receiver. But you see last year, 12 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns. So he did all right last year. He did his thing last year. 5.6 yards average this year, and 4 touchdowns. So yeah, when he got in the game, he ran pretty well. Everything else say Sauber. So he was a guy I had last year. So this year, mixing it up and putting it back into the game. Pretty sure, like if I go back to what I'm supposed to do, go back and look at Sauber's even the stats. Of course, yes, maybe it went too fast. Wait, hit Nate. His stats pretty sure like all his yards came in the last couple games. So yeah, some couple yards earlier. But the game against Bates, big, had tons of yards. I didn't really pass at all my last game. I just kind of ended it off. Blocking, my lineman did really well this year, so a little upset. I think I went against Georgia, and I held the ball too long. Stepanovich got his only sack of the season. He was pretty much flawless all year. And it really wasn't a sack on him, but it was a sack on him based off the stuff. So, defense, said tackle, 104 tackles, 63 tackles for losses, 46 sacks. He got 30 receptions, 6 deflections, 6 fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, touchdown, or 1 safety, and touchdown. So, dope. Clay Goon got his 4 touchdowns on the year. Got 2 of them in the last couple weeks. Balled out. The most forced fumble was probably him too, yeah. So that's why, again, he was just making plays all year still. And still, you know what I'm saying? That was for losses. We have 63, even off at 54 again, not even starting 54. Again, not even starting 39 and 46. He's like really good. Probably like if I started, he'd probably be even better, but James Lindenbach, 39, 25 sacks. So again, these guys are my huge difference makers, body grabbers. Kicking, I didn't really kick. 5 field goals. My kickers, not really to say about my kickers. 3-pound return, what's the hat? I don't really have a really good kick return, punt return, but and then I'll look at the last one here is records. The last thing I'll look at, pass yards, still got the record. I don't think anybody's looking at it because I don't think anybody here passes as much, has as much big plays or anything as my team has over the last 3 years that he started. He broke this maybe last year, so career passing yards, maybe his first or second year. Career passing yards, receiving yards, yes, Izzy's guy. That's California receptions, pass touchdowns is him as well. Because why not, right? Some people are made to be champions. 411 pass touchdowns. Deshaun Robinson erased and reclaimed my sacks stat leader. It was owned by Barber, and then it got replaced by some other guy who wasn't a pass rusher. I can't remember his name, but he replaced him, and now I've reclaimed back my time and my position for the sacks leader. So he's leaving. Shout out to these guys. for sure. And then you go to like SEC, I'm pretty sure what's the name is on there too. Perryman is on there. Yeah, receiving yards, Perryman, receptions, Perryman, touchdown catches, Perryman. Yates, the rushing touchdowns, rushing yards. Yeah, I want to hear about those guys. This for the career though. Career season as well. Like I said, he had a bonkers year, and he had more yards than that. They just didn't count him. He had more yards than that. They did not count those yards. They will not count, I guess, after a certain amount. So definitely not count those yards. But he had a bonkers year. Hagan, Dylan Sims again that same year. What he had 12 and 12 again. 127, and he had 12 yards. So it's long like crazy. Touchdown catches, 105 in that one season by his guy. I think there's a limit as well. That's why Raven only has 63. Donald Raven only has 63 because there's a limit. So my guy with the most sacks on my team also had 63. I think it was Soels at 63 that year. But he won't let you go any higher. Even after you get 8 sacks a game, he just won't let you go any higher. Jaden Ott, California. Hey, Malcolm Nicky, yes, I finally did it. I broke the record for most interceptions of the season. I've been trying to do that. So finally broke the record for most interceptions of the season. I got it. I got one. In the game, of course, I should have broken that one. That is mine. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Some of the stuff is happening sometimes in some of these games, and they let me do it. The 19 pass touchdowns was 18. I got 19 pass touchdowns. I should have broke that one too. Receiving yards, they went crazy receiving that one year. I was not going to do that. The game, that 1,000 yards game was crazy. Especially with receiver, you got to put like one person specifically all game. Rashard, Scott Priestley. I was close to bringing it in. Like I'd have probably broken that rushing yards record if they let me keep that one game. Pass touchdown again. Talking about that. Keyshawn Robinson, wide receiver at 18 game again. Absolutely insane. These guys were farming, bro. I don't know what they're going. It's crazy. Or farming for cheese. He just had 16 sacks in the game. I'm just like, what the heck, bro? Allie McAfee, South Carolina, had 11 touchdowns in the game. It's cornerback, which kind of upset me. It kind of upsets me. Trying to break that record. I've had like 5 interception games like 6 times, and this guy comes in here and gets 6 interceptions in a game. So how do you get them to love you like that? Yeah, and so those are my guys. Those are my team. That's my team. These are my players. They're my key players, man. They won me my first championship, saved my season, amongst many other things. So there's that. Shout out to, I don't know what to call these guys here. My jokers. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, we're going to get the last laugh. We're going to make sure it's a good one. So, the Tiger who laughs.